So when you look at exercise, here's how you know how you should be exercising. You have to figure out what makes your body go. There's two things that your body uses as energy, either sugar or fat. Now, you're either a sugar burner or a fat burner depending on how you exercise. Now, I really want you to pay attention to this because this may seem a little counterintuitive. So here's the easy thing on which kind of exercise you should be doing. Men, do you want to look like the marathon runner or do you want to look like the sprinter? Which one do you want to look like? The sprinter. The sprinter has less fat and more muscle. How he exercises is doing high intensity exercise followed by intermittent periods of rest. High intensity exercise, after 1 to 2 minutes, boom, he rests, allows himself to be able to recover. The marathon runner, what do? They do slow, steady state exercise for hours and hours and hours. You know what happens to the marathon runner? Here's what his body says. So while he's running, he's actually burning fat, no question about it. When he's done exercising, he starts to then go back to being a sugar burner. You know what his body wants to do then? He says, well, listen, if you're exercising for 2 hours every single day and you're using fat while you exercise, I better then make that fat or store it so that you have it for your exercise. So what does then he actually do when he's away from exercising? He stores what? Fat. Does a great job of storing fat. In addition to that, his body says, if you're going to be a marathon runner, the most efficient way to do it is to become as light as possible. So what then does his body then start to burn as an energy source too? His muscles. So his whole job is to be as light as possible, to store fat when he's not running so that it's available during exercise. Whoa! And you know what happens? His metabolism continues to go down and down and down because he becomes lighter and lighter and lighter, which makes it even harder for him to lose weight because he has less muscle mass. That's going to make him less sensitive to insulin. So then he can even develop a problem with his thyroid and a problem in type 2 diabetes. You start actually becoming more sensitive to insulin and start overcoming type 2 diabetes is actually about putting on muscle mass. Now the sprinter, here's what he does. Short duration, high intensity exercise. While he exercises, here's the thing. The only thing that he burns is sugar. That's it. So while he exercises, he's burning through all of his sugar stores in his body. Then his body starts to say, well, I actually need sugar while I exercise. So why then, when I'm done, why don't I just burn fat and then store sugar? And you know where you store sugar? In your muscles, in your liver. So he actually becomes an efficient fat burner, is able to store sugar. He is an efficient sugar burner, but stores fat instead.